Hey everyone, today we are going to break down a really powerful mindset tool that's designed to do one simple thing: cut down your stress and help you take back your personal power. It's called the Let Them theory, and trust me, it's an absolute game changer. So, let's dive right in.
But let's start with a big question, one that I think we can all relate to. Why are we so addicted to trying to control things that are completely out of our hands? It's a universal struggle, right? And honestly, it's the root cause of so much of our day-to-day stress. You know, Mel Robbins, who actually came up with this theory, put it perfectly. She said that trying to manage the uncontrollable is just a recipe for frustration, and that is exactly what we're going to tackle: the stress we put on ourselves by fighting battles we were never going to win in the first place.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to dig into this whole problem of uncontrollable stress. Then, I'll introduce you to the Let Them theory, and we'll break it down into its two crucial parts. After that, we'll look at how it actually works in real life. And finally, we'll talk about the biggest payoff of all: getting your time and your energy back.
Okay, first things first, the problem itself. We're all hardwired with this deep need to feel in control. I mean, it makes sense, right? At a basic level, control feels like safety. But here's the trap. We try to extend that control beyond ourselves and onto other people: how they think, what they do, how they feel. And that, well, that's just a one-way ticket to constant frustration and conflict.
And, I mean, just look at this list. It really hits home, doesn't it? A rude customer, your boss showing up in a bad mood, getting passed over for a promotion you wanted. We let these things completely derail our day. They're like little energy vampires draining us, all because we're desperately trying to influence things that are just fundamentally not ours to control.
So, the big question is, how do we break out of this cycle? Well, that's exactly where the Let Them theory comes into play. And I want to be clear, this is not just some feel-good mantra you repeat. It's a practical, in-the-moment tool you can use to get instant clarity.
At its heart, the Let Them theory is a simple mental switch. It helps you draw a bright, clear line in the sand between what's your responsibility and what is not. And believe me, making that one simple distinction is the key to taking your power back and finally finding some peace.
All right, so let's break this down, starting with the first half. Let them. It is so important to get this right. This is not about being a doormat. This isn't about just letting it go and rolling over. It's an active and actually a very empowering choice.
This comparison here just nails the difference. Think about it. Let it go often feels like defeat, like you're giving up. But let them is totally different. It's active. It's you saying, okay, I see that my colleague is being rude, or I see that the traffic is awful. You're acknowledging you can't control it, and in that moment of acknowledgement, you kind of rise above it. You detach from all that frustration and just see the situation for what it is, without letting it own you.
But look, let them is only half of the equation. The second part, well, this is where you find your real power. This is the let me part. This is where you pivot from focusing on the external world and bring all that focus right back to your internal one.
And here they are. These three things are the only things you ever truly have control over: your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions. So the moment you say, let them be rude, you immediately follow it with, let me decide. Let me decide what I'm going to think about this. Let me decide what I'm going to do next. Let me decide how I'm going to process this feeling. This right here, this is where 100% of your power lives.
You know, at its core, this is really about redefining what responsibility means. It's not about taking the blame for everything. It's about recognizing your ability to respond. You can't control what happens to you, but you always have the power to choose how you respond to it. Okay, so that's the theory. Sounds good, right? But how does it actually work when the rubber meets the road in your day-to-day life? Let's get practical and see this two-part framework in action.
This table lays it out so clearly. Let's take that first one. Your partner doesn't do the dishes. Again. The old way is to get angry. The new way? Start with let them. Let them show you that this isn't a priority for them. You're just acknowledging reality. Then comes the power move. Let me have a calm conversation about how this impacts me. Or what about your family being disappointed in you? Okay, let them be disappointed. That's their feeling. They can own it. Then let me make my decisions based on my own values. You see the pattern here? Acknowledge reality, then take empowered action.
And this brings us to such a critical insight. Let them is also about letting people show you who they really are. Their actions, or maybe their lack of action, it's all just data. It's information. Their behavior is telling you the truth about what they prioritize. And when you just let them reveal that truth, you empower yourself to make really clear, informed decisions.
And all of this leads us to the ultimate payoff. This is the whole point of the exercise, really. It's about reclaiming your two most valuable, non-renewable resources, your time and your energy.
All right, look at this number on the screen, 70,000. Just let that sink in for a second. Any guesses what that could possibly represent?
Yep, that's it. That's roughly how many thoughts the average person has running through their mind every single day. It's an incredible amount of mental energy being spent.
Now here's a thought experiment I want you to try. Imagine for a moment that you had to pay just $1 for every single one of those thoughts you wasted on something or someone you can't control. Worrying about what people think, replaying an argument over and over, fuming about traffic. How much would that cost you every single day? That is the real price you're paying when you give your power away.
And that really brings us to the core takeaway, the let them theory. It isn't some trick to manipulate other people or to win arguments. It's a tool for self-mastery. The goal has always been and will always be to stop trying to control the world around you and to reclaim total 100% control of yourself.
So I want to leave you with this one final powerful idea. When you truly embrace this way of thinking, you start to realize that other people, their actions, their opinions, they don't actually block your path. All they do is show you the path. They reveal the truth of a situation. So the real question, the only one that really matters, is now that you have that information, where will you choose to go next?